everybody, this is Dwight Peters from quarterwaters.com, the site for social entrepreneurs, where social entrepreneurs come on the program, they talk about the issues they're tackling, the impact they're making, and share helpful business tips along the way. Now, it's been a while since we have done an interview, probably about 6 or 7 months. And that is because after hearing so many inspiring interviews, I myself decided to start my own social enterprise, which I will talk about in another video. But today on the program, I have with us Stephane, the founder of ByDfault. We're going to find out what ByDfault is, how we got started, and hear what the impact is that Stephane and his crew is making. Stephane, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dwight, and thank you for having us in your program. Very pleased to be here today.
How was that intro? That was all off the top of the head. I was just,
No, it's great. It's great. You're doing good, man.
All right, so Stephane, man, I was able to find your clothing line by a friend of ours. You guys are actually featured on Roost, and Roost Hope is a shopping center for, brands that give back. So when I came across your brand, I was in love with the style, I was in love with the design, and I wanted to find out a little bit more. So if you could share with our viewers, what is ByDfault?
Okay, so we are what we can call a socially responsible apparel company, and we make and design and sell t-shirts designed by artists from different countries across the globe that are inspired by a cause. And then from the sale of the clothing line, we give back to non-profits the artists we're willing to support. So pretty much in few words, our mission is to help someone in the world have a better life every day. So really the purpose of the company is really to make clothing, apparel. Today it's mainly t-shirts, but the goal is to expand and do a few more things. Can be scarves, can be hoodies and button shirts, and a few other ideas that we have in our closet. But really the idea was, based on my passion for art, for giving back and social entrepreneurship, is how we can work with artists and have the ability to have them focused on a cause they would like to support and create a network that will be an inspiration of that cause. So this is what we do with the artists, and then with the nonprofit, we have chosen the path of really building partnership and collaboration with the nonprofit. It's not only about sending back money, giving them a check, but it's also about creating awareness and having more people to be aware what the issue is and how they can be a part of the solution.
Awesome, man. But looking at your background, it's kind of surprised that you would make a transition into clothing. You have about over 20 years of experience in corporate America.
Oh, don't remind me that, right? that hurts.
Speak on it. What is your background, and how did you guys end up starting ByDfault?
I'm an old fellow, hanging on for, you're right, more than 20 years in business, in mostly sales and marketing, and started with Danone, being the sales rep, selling yogurt with high ambition to become, whatever. And I did that for a while, and it was great. First job out of business school. At the time I was 20-ish, and I wanted to be the king of the world at that time. And moved to other corporations like Carrefour, which is kind of a Walmart, the French or European way, and then Microsoft, and in between some startups and small businesses. Always pretty much in retail and consumer good industries, always in sales and marketing. And at the end, I was one of the marketing directors at Microsoft. So you can say, hey, what the heck, why this guy would like to, give up everything to start something crazy like that? And I think my background and my, as you said, 20 years or so in working with other people in different company sizes really helped me. It took me a while, yes, but really helped me to understand, how I can, impact the world, and also building the skills so I can do it in a hopefully successful way, sorry, and efficient way. So I would say my background really, I mean, today is really helpful to, manage the marketing, the sales of the brand, how to get connected with, partners, nonprofit artists, but also end consumers through social media, digital marketing, which is really one of my passion, by the way. But it is really helpful. And you know what? My father was he's retired now, but he was an entrepreneur. His mother was too. My grandmother was an entrepreneur back in the 1910, something like that. And on my wife's side, it's pretty much the same story. So I think at some point it was in my DNA. It just took 20 years to flourish and get out. But yeah, no, I mean, I would say it is right now, I mean, for me, it is really helpful. Also, based on my background and working, under very high pressure in these big corporations, like when I have a to-do list that is, I don't know, 5 pages, I feel like home because this is where I come from. I don't feel desperate. And I know that, if you take a little bit of time and I will maybe go that later, but being focused is also very helpful, so you can go through everything you have to do. But the transition went, I think, pretty well. And I would say also because becoming a social entrepreneur, I mean, first didn't come overnight. It's not like, oh, there is this new thing, I want to try it. It was more, okay, I spent 20 years quite successful, if I can say that. And now it's time to give back something.
Yeah. So how did that trip to Guatemala come about?
Yeah, I'm glad you bring this up because, this is actually where and when everything started. I went to Guatemala in 2010 with 2 of my sons, volunteering in a school where basically you see that they have nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a public school, it's mandatory, but 75% of the students won't go finish elementary school. So then they go back to the farm, they go back in the street, and their future might not be very bright. So we stayed there for a week, and we were doing paintings, fixing furnitures, so the kids can have a better place to study. But I think the most important thing is the ability to interact and communicate with these students. Some of them, they told us, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. And that most of them won't even finish elementary school. So I felt like this is not right. I was lucky, not fortunate enough to pretty much, I had everything I needed when I grew up. And I'm thankful for that. But I was feeling that, these little kids, they are quite nothing, and they are so happy to see us for a week over there. How can I come back and just ignore them and forget about it? So when I came back, it was really, and it sounds like a cliche, but for anyone who has, done that, it's really a life changer.
Yeah.
And so I came back, I started a fundraising with a few other volunteers. We raised some money and we sent the money back to the school so they could have, we bought books for them.
Yeah.
And we are very happy that now they have more books so they can study, because the public school is free, but not the books,
Yeah.
which is an issue for most of the kids. The year after, we did that again. And I realized that, okay, if I can do that for these kids at that school in Guatemala, maybe I can, going back to my background, leverage my skills to do something similar but to a broader scale and to help more people for different countries and having different issues. And I think this is where, everything started. Being an entrepreneur was, I think, somewhere always in my DNA, and I always wanted to do something. Yeah. This trip in Guatemala was the trigger. And I would say it was Guatemala, but it could have been in my neighborhood, community, doing something for a cause locally based. Doesn't really matter. It's do it if you have a chance to do it. And this is when you realize that you can impact the world in a way.
So how did that conversation come about? I hear it all the time from people that want to become entrepreneurs, but they say, man, I have kids right now. It's not a good time. I have a wife. It's pretty hard. How did that conversation go for you? And it might have went pretty different since you guys did have an entrepreneurial background. So you come home and you say, honey, leaving corporate America, and we're going to start this new company.
Yeah, we moved from France 6 years ago, and I moved here in Redmond, Washington, so pretty much Seattle, with the 3 kids and the wife. So I'm in charge of the family in a way. I'm still, even though it's tougher now, but it's. You're right, it's a good question. Becoming an entrepreneur, or even more a social entrepreneur, is a very personal choice, and you need to share it. Share it with, your kids if you have kids, with your wife, partner, whoever lives with you. It's important that they understand what you want to do, how you want to do it, and by the way, no matter how good you will explain the project and what you want to do, you will underestimate the amount of work you will have to spend and do on it, and spend on you creating the social business. So it's really important that you get the support from whoever lives very closely with you, because it's going to be tough, man. Really, really. Especially coming from a kind of a secured world, being in a corporation where you have a paycheck every month, where you have benefits, where going to see a doctor has never been an issue for us because of the benefit the corporation was providing. And when you leave that world, it's a new world. This is real life, by the way. Yeah. So you need to be prepared for many, many aspects. Money, obviously money, because you need money to pay the rent or the mortgage or anything relating to the kids and have a decent life. For sure, you will have to cut. In my case, we had to cut, because I don't get paid today. Yeah. To be honest. So this is really something you need to have. And transitioning from this corporation world or regular job to social entrepreneur, you need to think ahead about it. And I would say the longer you can keep your job, the better it is. And when it becomes unmanageable, this is when you realize this is the time to move and be full-time on your job, on your business. But I created the legal structure of ByDfault in September 2011. I left the corporate world in March 2012 to join a firm where I was thinking the work-life balance would be better, so I can allocate more time to prepare the launch of ByDfault, which was true until the summertime. I was not working really for the company that hired me on a project, so I started to spend much more time on ByDfault. And then in September 2012, this is when I became really full-time on ByDfault. So it was like something that I was anticipated, and I prepared a lot, again, with my close, family, friends, entourage, and also from a work perspective. And, I don't know if it's funny or what, but during the preparation of, okay, I came back from Guatemala, this is what I wanted to do. The closing line, talking with the kids and the wife seemed to be the way to go to make a statement and work with the people I wanted to work with forever, but it never had the opportunity to do so. And yeah, I mean, I was reading a lot. So reading is really something I will say to anybody going into entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship. Read a lot.
What were you reading?
Sorry?
What were you reading?
I was reading, that's fun. I was reading books written by 20 years old kid who created their own, closing line out of, high school or something. And
do you remember the name of the book?
I have it somewhere here. It's not on top of my head. I can give you the reference, that's for sure, later. One blog was how to launch a closing line or a closing company. And there are a few of them in the same topic. So I read that a lot. And it really helped me understand also an industry I was not familiar at all. Clothing, apparel. I mean, I'm a shopper. I never thought about creating my line. And reading this stuff from kids, basically. I can say that because I'm 20 years older than them.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, be humble and learn from others, whoever they are, where they come from. But, they were doing it from their basement, which, this is my basement, by the way. With, their mother doing the accounting. So it's my wife who is helping me with the accounting. And a few other friends helping with designs and selling, out of the cars. And the main difference is that they didn't have a family to
support.
To support, exactly. Yeah, I think I forgot your question.
No, I was asking, some of the books that you were reading, how did you make this transition? And you know what? The main reason why I really like this interview is because, you guys are young, you guys are still at the beginning stage. So you could give a live, direct answer straight from the trenches of, this is how it is to get going. What are some of the challenges that you face so far?
I have a laundry list like that of challenges. And they are different every day. And when you think you have fixed one and resolved one, there is another one coming up. Because you need to go do, and when you go do, you make mistakes. So I would say for me, I think any entrepreneur, having ideas is great. And I'm sure you have many ideas every day, like I do, like we all do as entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs. And the challenge, one of the challenges is to stay focused.
Yeah.
But
whatever. Everybody say that. How do you stay focused?
I have a wife that is really helping me with that. But I stay focused. Like I have a business plan, which is not it's not a 30 pages business plan, but I know where I'm going. We have as a company and brand, we have a vision, and we know, it's all about giving back, working with artists, working with nonprofit and doing apparel. And we wanted to start with t-shirts, but we know this is not what we will be doing forever, and we will add more to that. But I did that. I don't know if you can see that. It's a mug with our logo on it, and I think it's a pretty cool logo and it's a pretty cool mug. And someone, one of our interns asked me, why don't you do that? Well, yeah, it's another idea. It might be a good one, but hey, stay focused. Our purpose is to make, a closing line first. And when we are successful with that, we can move to another idea. And So I write down every ideas I have. And in my kitchen, I cannot show it to you, but in my kitchen, there is a side of the countertop that is kind of an annex, another office, and I have sticker notes all over the place.
Yeah.
Some are for my kids, some for me, with ideas. And 2 days ago, I met with a nonprofit, and I remember that ideas that I had maybe 9 months ago that could be a good fit for that nonprofit. So I would say, write down all of your ideas, put them aside, and keep only the ones that are core business and that will be really helpful to achieve, what you have in your short-term business plan. I think that this is how I manage, the laundry list.
What scares you the most?
That's a good one. That's wow. Sorry.
No problem.
I think as a father,
Yeah.
with 3 children and one potentially going to college in 2 years, my fear would be not to be able to provide that to him because of my choice. Yeah. And my choice, was really to go social entrepreneur with this brand, and all the money we spend is my saving.
Yeah.
And I don't want my kids to suffer for my decisions. So it's not scary to death because you need to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And to be confident. And sometimes you need to convince yourself and to be confident and because it doesn't work overnight, and it does, you don't make a sale every day.
Yeah.
So life is scary, man. That is true. But you need to trust you, follow your guts, document your ideas, have a business plan, and trust yourself. And sometimes it's not easy because it doesn't work all the time. So I would say, and this is also part of the challenges that we have, is how to get the word out and have more people to know what you do. You cannot imagine how thrilled I am when you tell me that, you discovered us, you saw what we were doing, and you liked it. Of course, any entrepreneur would like more and more people to say the same thing, so you can, increase sales, and that means giving back even more, which is, what we are focusing on. So getting the word out is really, really challenging because everybody makes shortcuts.
Yeah. And
someone who doesn't take the time to understand what we do, especially in social entrepreneurship, it's okay, you're a t-shirt brand.
Yeah.
So
what makes you different? Yeah.
Exactly. And if you take the time to listen to me or to read our blog and where we come from, what we do and how, then you realize. The thing is, people don't take time because this is not something we have unlimited. So the way, if I can go further, the way we address, the word of mouth and getting the word out is, right now I keep trying, experimenting a lot of things like, Google ads, Bing ads, Facebook ads. I did quite a bunch of, Facebook ads at the very beginning to have likes on our page. So right now we have 400 and so likes, which is okay for a very young brand, but it's not I'm not too excited about that number. And this is when you realize, when you do advertisements on Facebook, for example, and if you forget to target very, very, much, you have people from countries, they would never become a buyer.
Yeah.
So I stopped that, and I do one-to-one. So hopefully you will become, one of the next followers, and all you people out there. But it's when I say I go one-to-one, I leverage my network. I send an email directly to people asking to subscribe to a newsletter, to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and also go to our website. So it's very grassroots oriented. Also because, I mean, when you begin, you don't have $50,000 to spend in an ad campaign. That's for sure.
No.
So yeah, and that's still one of our challenges. Also, I'm starting to work with some interns, and one of them is helping us doing happy hour chat with college students, and few other if they want to join. And the goal is to have more people to be aware and understand what we do, because I mean, I believe doing an ad placement in a print or online, I mean, that's easy. You pay the click, so you will get the click because the algorithm is built that way. You get the click. Sometimes it's not enough to convert into a sale and into loyal.
And it's all a learning curve, you know, especially learning how to use Facebook ads or Google AdWords. You know, I think I can speak from experience. You're gonna lose some money on it, you know, but hopefully, if you could really find out your core audience, you guys will definitely, you know, be able to convert.
Yeah, and you bring a good point. And the one thing I was convinced before I started is like, you will fail.
Yeah.
You will make mistakes. You will fail. I'm not saying I will fail forever, but you will make mistakes. So try to learn from them so you don't repeat them. But it's one thing. I mean, and we all want, you know, that everything works out very well overnight. It just happens maybe once in a million.
Yeah.
And so it's really, you know, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to lose money or not to make money. I mean, to make money, you need to spend money. To give back, you need also to spend money. And at the beginning, you were speaking of scary things. I mean, that's one of them. It's like, oh, I'm spending money. This is all I do. And I don't collect and I don't give back enough versus what I wanted to. So, but don't give up. I mean, I'm sad when I hear friends saying, hey, it's too hard. I give up. I need money to, you know, feed the family and support it. And it's a decision you make, you know, and I respect that. But I would say, never. After really like 3 years, maybe you can ask questions and say, okay, I mean, I really need to leave, so maybe this is not the right thing. But it's trials and error, and learn from them, correct, experiment a lot, and we do that. It's just finding the right, I mean, putting the needle in the right place so you don't lose everything at once.
Yeah. Where can we see ByDfault a year from now? Your prediction.
In a year from now, my goal is to release one new apparel every month to support a different cause with a different artist. It will be to be also sold in brick and mortars retailers, and not only on Roost and on our website, so people can really understand what we do, feel the fabric, because we take great care of everything we put into the production. It's to have people to become the advocate of what we do. And it's going back to, you know, being social, but also leveraging communities and social media to really have ambassadors of our brand. So I'm not sure we will be out of the ditch in a year from now, but I really hope, and that's what we are working for, that, you know, we will have more followers, more people recognizing what we do, editorials in the press, and a rhythm, so we can launch pretty much every month something new.
Awesome, man. Our community's gonna hold you to that. All right.
And you know, I mean, sorry, and again, I can speak for hours. So
No, man. No, I think this is great, man. I think, I think this is really great. Getting that experience from somebody that's just starting. We spoke about the challenges, how you made that transition, real life fare. I think it's very important for every aspiring social entrepreneur that there's challenges in this. There's going to be nights when you're up, you're almost nauseous, you're frightened, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But how do you bounce back? How do you stay focused? How do you stay determined? How do you believe in your goal, your vision to execute? So I think this was perfect, man. Are we leaving anything out?
Yeah. Well, I can I can continue.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, maybe two things. I mean, don't jump into social entrepreneurship because you have heard of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, do it because you want to do it and you believe this is a different way to do business and you can impact the world. Don't be opportunistic. Yeah. I don't believe in people that just do things because there is something they can benefit from it. Don't do it for you. Don't do it to feel good, but do it because you believe it's right, and that's the new normal on how to run a business. And lastly, if this is my last word, it will be, be passionate, enjoy every moment. I mean, bad and good, especially the good. Yeah. I mean, every sale you make, every smile you can create, every joy. I mean, the first time we made a sale from someone we didn't know, it was like, wow, honey, we made it. I mean, we don't know this person. She bought something from us. This is great. And so, yeah, I mean, be passionate, follow your guts, documents, have a plan, and good, do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. There we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephane Boss, the CEO and founder of ByDfault Apparel. Stephane, thanks for coming on the program, man.
Thank you so much, Dwight. And good luck for your venture and the future.
All right.